What's up, good people? Let me know that you can hear me in the chat by typing lock her up. Lock her up if you can hear me in the chat while the intro plays.
Ayy, poppin' like I'm supposed to. Watch out for the people that ain't close to. Speak a little something you could toast to. I ain't tryna hear about what you won't do. Moving like I'm into. Hit the ground running like the rent do. Speak a little something that you're into. I ain't tryna hear about what you been through. Like hold up, say what's the hold up. I got the pack, who got the roll up? I'm tryna pull up. It seem like every time I show up, it gotta go up. See the drip, they see the glow up. Oh now they know us. See it's funny how my pockets out of shape, but I'm fit for the flex. Clear the phone call, hit my chick with a text. Parlay through the bird with my drip from the jets. Save a couple hundred by your with the rest. I prefer my reefer with Henny and Coke. Please don't be stingy, got plenty to smoke. Show up and act up and back to the crib. I do not stun, I just rap what I live. Seem like they doing the most for the clout. Did what I said so they know what I'm about. Show up and act up and back to the crib. I do not stun, I just rap what I live.
All right, what's up, good people? Yes, I see D Baby saying 3 lives. We're winning. Yes. We're winning with my mental health as well. So that's why I'm able to be here. So today on the agenda, I have been closely following the Tiffany Henyard super mayor or super thief story. They're out of Dalton and Thornton Township. It is in the very Chicagoland area. So it's in an area I'm very familiar with and got people that live out there and all kind of stuff. So it is definitely part of my home turf. And we don't claim her. So we need to hurry up and get her locked up. But I have been following the story very closely. I just have not been coming on to talk to you guys about it as much as I should. We've talked about it, I think, maybe once or twice. But I am curious. Well, first of all, thank you to everyone who's viewing and letting me know that you could hear me. I think there's some kind of delay because I don't see none of y'all that typed lock her up. But to our channel members, shout out to B Hunt, who is one of our channel members. And thank you to the 73% of you who have hit that like button and shared this video. If you have not as of yet, please do so as soon as you can. It is free to you, but it is invaluable to me and the growth of this platform, which is greatly appreciated and needed. Poll question that's going out is, have you been following the Tiffany Henyard story? So what caught my attention and made me say, hey, let's just get on here and talk about it. I don't have to put a whole program together and produce a whole show. But I wanted to do a couple reactions to some videos that are out there, and specifically on yesterday, WGN News, local news in Chicago, did an investigative report that I just realized I never pulled in. I'm rusty. I'm like, I never pulled it in. Where's that? Hold on. Do I have it even here? I might put my glasses on now. But anyway, they did an investigative report. They've been doing reports on her since this hit the news. However, they've been following very closely and tracking where the money is going. And so they did an investigative report, and I thought this was really interesting. And so we're going to play this. And what they are saying is that the money that we knew that she had spent for travel that we had all been talking about, it's actually more. So for those of you who aren't aware, Tiffany Henyard has been allegedly, I guess I gotta say, but has allegedly not only been taking money and putting the village of Dalton, at a $3 million plus deficit. She is also the Thornton Township supervisor. And so she's been taking money from both accounts and spending on their credit cards. And so they ended up having to sue her. The news station had to sue in order to get the records because they would not release it even under FOIA, which they're supposed to FOIA. So here's their news clip, and then we'll talk about it a little more.
Are on the hook for tens of thousands of dollars more in travel costs for Dalton Mayor Tiffany Henyard and her administration.
Comes after WGN sued the village for refusing to turn over financial records as required by law. A judge sided with WGN. Investigative reporter Ben Bradley shows what those records reveal.
For a year now, we've been reporting on questionable spending by a South Suburban politician named Tiffany Henyard. But we only knew half the story because we only had records from one of the two governments she runs. Now we can show you the real toll her travel is taking on taxpayers.
I'm going to pause a little bit. Copyright purposes, I can't just sit and play it all the way through. If you do want to see the entire segment, you can go to the WGN YouTube channel, and I'll link it in the video below. I'll try to remember to do that. But she is so into... She just reminds you of like this street chicken head chick who is more interested in clubbing than doing her job. So that footage there was from... the community block club or event, whatever she was having about 2 weeks or so ago, 2 to 3 weeks ago. And she had Kiki Wyatt there live. It was Kiki Wyatt and I always want to say Jay Valentine, but that was not Jay Valentine, but some other artist. And she paid them to come. I heard that she tried to get Kiki Wyatt to like do a little quick blurb and be like, yeah, Tiffany Henyard, the super mayor of Dalton, is so great. And Kiki Wyatt wouldn't do it because people had been sending her messages, I guess, after she had committed to the booking. She didn't know exactly who she was booking for. And she found out when it was too late. But she was at that community event that she put on, wasting taxpayers' money. It's like she feels like if she can provide entertainment, bingo, giving out book bags and games and prizes, that makes her a great mayor. Never mind the fact that she's putting her village, or their village, because I don't even think she lived there, is what I'm hearing, but putting the village of Dalton in a deficit to the point that people are losing their jobs and getting laid off. But she's more concerned with having parties and gatherings and events, and that one didn't even have good attendance. It was halfway empty.
Self-proclaimed super mayor is a prolific poster on social media, but what she rarely publicizes are her travels, trips frequently paid for by taxpayers.
If you want to have a good time, spend your own dime.
Despite being a trustee, this is the first time Tammy Brown has been able to see the village's credit card statements, records we had to get through a judge's order.
When you see things like this, it's like a punch in the gut.
Last January, we told you Tiffany Henyard and her entourage racked up more than $67,000 in travel-related charges in just 5 months. But that's just what was charged to Thornton Township credit cards, where she's the supervisor. When you add in what was billed to Dalton, trips for Mayor Henyard and her entourage cost taxpayers more than $100,000.
So originally, we had been hearing, since it first got released, this traveling she was doing to Vegas and New York, staying at high-end hotels, eating surf and turf, lobsters and steak, and partying and flying first class and all of that. And we knew about the $40-something thousand, which was already ridiculous. But what we didn't know at the time was that was not only did she do it for Dalton, but she was also doing it in Thornton Township. Now Thornton Township is finally waking up. What I'm baffled by, and some of you live there. I saw somebody I'd start some comments. Those of you who live there, can you explain to me how after she was elected mayor, someone thought it was a great idea to also make her the township supervisor? That just don't even feel right. Like, period. In my mind, it would have been, nah, that's too much power. No need. Also, I need her to be concentrating on being a mayor, not also a township supervisor. That, to me, I don't even understand the thinking behind that, unless there was some backroom deals being made for that.
We questioned Henyard about travel last fall.
I do not handle anything as relates to with credit cards. As you heard me speak today in my board meeting about, I do not handle that.
Some of those
Hold on to that. We're going to talk about this credit card thing in our next segment.
charges are for you, though.
No, sir.
You didn't go to Las Vegas?
That's a straight up question. Did you go to Las Vegas? You know she called. She knows she called. With that evil smirk.
What is that?
No comment.
You don't know if you were in Las Vegas?
Of course I do.
Were you?
It's not paid by them.
Did you fly first class to Las Vegas?
Any other questions?
When Henyard hits the road, she and other village and township officials.
That's a straightforward question. When I traveled for work and they paid for it, I would say, yes, I traveled for work. I stayed where I was supposed to stay. When I went on my own vacations and took time off from work, if somebody asked me, how did you pay for that trip? Out of my own pocket. The job did not pay for this trip. Yes, I have some trips I go on and the job fully funds them. And I have other trips I go on that are mine. They're personal. And I have a track record to prove that I haven't spent any money off of the company credit card when I would travel, unless, it was work related. That's not a hard question to answer. Why she couldn't answer it straight up?
Officials do so in style. Records show they often fly first class, pay for upgrades. They've stayed at luxury hotels, including the Four Seasons, and dine at steakhouses.
Oh my God. When you just see these things.
Let's look at one trip to Austin, Texas in July of last year. 5 people, including Mayor Henyard, for 5 days. While we previously reported the township was billed $27,000, we now know the actual cost was more than $47,000 when you factor in what Dalton taxpayers were charged.
$47,475 for 5 people to travel to Austin, Texas? Austin, Texas. Austin, Texas. Not Austin, Australia. This is not even an international trip. Maybe if it was international, I could be like, okay, I could almost see it. Well, I know it's still pushing. It's really still pushing it. But to Austin, Texas, $47,000. Y'all some thieves. All y'all. Everybody who went, I blame y'all all, not just her.
It includes nearly $1,000 spent at an Austin Walgreens and a sports riding apparel store.
At Walgreens, who spends $400 at Walgreens?
Nearly $1,000 spent at an Austin.
I don't even think I've ever even spent $100 at Walgreens. In one shopping trip, I don't even think I've ever spent $100 at Walgreens. $400. What the hell are you bad at Walgreens for $400? Did you not pack nothing either? Because that sounds like they just booked first class flights and was like, we balling. I ain't gonna even take nothing with me. I'm gonna buy everything I need when I get there off the taxpayer dollars. That is crazy.
Austin Walgreens and a sports riding apparel store. The only explanation for any of the travel was that it was to attend a conference.
I'm sure you guys had an awesome time on the backs of taxpayers, but what do we gain from any of these trips? We gain nothing.
Trustees say they've been demanding explanations for months.
You the ones that's costing the village money. And I don't know how they call. All right. Okay.
But Henyard and her team refused to share the credit card records.
We were never allowed to get those statements. So this is the reason why you hid it from us, because definitely we will have questions.
Mayor Henyard is in a situation where she feels like she's under attack, because she is.
Bo Brinley is Henyard's criminal defense attorney, hired after the FBI served subpoenas on the village and township earlier this year. He blames Henyard's top aide, Keith Freeman.
Keith Freeman made the decision on how these funds are being used. Keith Freeman is going on these trips. You understand, this is a new mayor. This is someone that is new to this job.
But she never thought, hey, I shouldn't fly first class. I shouldn't stay at the Four Seasons.
If there was a problem with any of that, if that's not how you're supposed to do it, she relied on Freeman to tell her. He's telling her this is how we do things.
He's telling her this is how we do things. You put billboards and banners everywhere with your name on it. You travel. Now, and he's like, this was her first time being a mayor. How would she know? Because she was a trustee for 8 years who had to vote on spending for the village. So she's very well versed in the procedures and what's appropriate spending for a municipality because she was a trustee for 8 years. Well, I don't know if she did the whole 2 terms, she said. She can't plead that level of ignorance, but that's all on purpose. This is why, for some of y'all, this is a word of caution. This is why you can't be working under dirty people thinking, oh, they gonna shield me because they able to get away with whatever. Because what happens is as soon as they get caught, they throw you under the bus. And that's what she's doing to Freeman, throwing him under the bus. He deserved it too. Whatever he did wrong, he deserved it too. And Chief Lacey. We ain't even talking about that today.
Things were done in Dalton is costing taxpayers dearly. Records we obtained show the village leased 3 luxury SUVs for Henyard's use at a cost to residents of more than $374,000.
She riding in black SUVs like she the president or vice president. She is riding around town in...
The mayor didn't spend any of this money.
How y'all let this happen?
Keith Freeman made decisions and reported to the mayor, this is what we're doing. The mayor trusted him until she didn't.
About that. This is me talking to people that understand business.
So her defense attorney, notice she needs one already. She ain't even been prosecuted yet. But she needs a defense attorney, and he's trying to plead ignorance on her part. She just didn't know. She was just going with the flow. But why everything benefits her then? If Keith Freeman was, as she's alleging, or her attorney is alleging, was behind all of this reckless spending and her billboards being everywhere and her name being put on everything, if he was in charge of that, why would he be promoting her like that? Why would what he would be doing as far as stealing money only really be benefiting her or primarily benefiting her? That ain't making sense.
Understand finance.
Back to those Dalton credit cards. They include nearly $25,000 charged in 5 months without explanation to places like Walmart, Target, and Jewel. There was $5,000 spent at local restaurants and Uber Eats. And Tiffany Henyard's personal photographer charged the village $3,400.
What I think is interesting about this case, this story, is you can be...
Let me go back. I didn't even notice that part. Let me look at these prices again. What she spent?
What I think...
Oh, hold on. It went too quick. $24,000 between Walmart, Target, and Jewel. $5,000 through Uber Eats. What the heck? Why are they ordering through Uber Eats? $5,000 in Uber Eats. And then her personal photographer. All these headshots and stuff y'all see. All these pictures for billboards and stuff. All this. Crazy. Absolutely insane. Absolutely insane.
I think it's interesting about this case, this story, is you can be highly legal and unethical at the same time.
Kelly Richmond Pope is an accounting professor who has investigated municipal spending. She says the brazenness is what caught her eye.
Who does this? Who lives this way so out loud? It's almost like, I dare you to ask. I dare you to ask me. And I'm just shocked that a leader would think that they could get away with this type of behavior and that no one's going to ask them about it.
We out here, taste of Thornton. Yeah, keep raining, but it's still going on.
Trustees for both of the governments headed by Henyard have now limited special event and credit card spending, but it may be too little, too late. Dalton is laying off workers after trustees discovered the village is millions in the hole.
We sort of knew we were in a bind, but not to this extent. This is devastating.
Federal prosecutors charged Keith Freeman with bankruptcy fraud. He's now cooperating with trustees investigating Henyard's spending, but he denies he's working with the feds.
He working with the feds. It's okay, Keith. It's okay. We know you're working with the feds, and it's fine. Ain't none of us gonna hold it against you. She is, but ain't none of us gonna hold it against. We know you're working for the feds. I'm gonna read some comments. I mean, it is insane. And she's doing this out loud in the public eye, has been for a couple years now. It is ridiculous. I'm so glad you're covering this story. I live in the township. Carol, I'm going to try to get a little better at just hopping on like I'm doing versus me always trying to overproduce everything. Because I have been following it for a couple months now consistently. She should have been locked up a long time ago. That darn heifer. Yeah, I mean, it takes time. And this is the thing I always say when we cover, scammers around here. And people are like, well, if they was scamming, they be in jail by now. That ain't true. They can't be no criminal because they not in jail. Why they not arrested? That's not how the legal system works. We are literally watching this thuglet. I saw somebody say thuglet. We watching her scam, scheme, lie, cheat, corruption. We're watching it day by day. It's being chronicled literally by the national news and many YouTubers and everything else at this point. And she's still doing it day to day to day. She is, they fighting, got the police department in disarray because she's trying to keep a fired police chief on board. And it's a whole thing. And the officers trying to keep him out. It's a whole thing. She got so much going on and she's doing it in our faces. So just because a thief, a criminal, and a sociopath keeps going at whatever they're doing, it don't mean that it's right or that they won't be facing consequences at some point. She will face consequences. I can see her move, though. I see what she's trying to do with the credit card. Why she thought she would be able to really get away with this is because she purposefully never had her name on the credit card that was being, or credit cards that were being abusing the system and spending the money recklessly. So she's gonna plead ignorance, and I didn't know. I never charged any of those things. Other people charged those things, but under her direction. But that's her move. That's what she's trying to. That's what she's gonna play. The Taste of Thornton with no restaurant. That thing was, I should have done a video on that as well. I do have the footage. Maybe we'll revisit some of the older stuff. But yes, it drizzled some that they rained on and off. But that event was empty with some tables out for different departments. The only thing she had was Kiki Wyatt and whoever it was, not Jay Valentine, but the other Valentine. And you saw people there for that. But the thing is, what baffles me is the people in the community who continue to support her overspending. I'm like, why y'all there? Why are you there when it's clear that she's wasting taxpayer dollars? Y'all are at, Dalton, we know, is at a $3 million deficit. But the truth is, she spent well over $6 million or wasted well over $6 million because they had around a $3 million surplus when she came into office. So she spent that and then took them in the red another $3 million, which means she spent a total of $6 million or wasted. That's crazy. In what, 2.5 years or something, y'all? Crazy. And then you got people still going there supporting it because they're getting a free book bag. Because they get to see Kiki Wyatt. If you don't get on Instagram, she on Instagram all the time. I see her all the time on Instagram. Watch her on Instagram. She should have been a party planner, not a mayor. Exactly, B Hunt. Exactly. Because she thinks like, they lying. They ain't telling y'all the truth. Y'all listening to all this drama. They just hating on me because I'm such a good super mayor. Remember the bingo. I gave y'all TVs and washers and dryers. They lying because they hating. I gave y'all the taste of Thornton. They hating. They don't want y'all to like me. Girl, but the village and the township are going into debt. People are losing their jobs because of your reckless spending and your mismanagement of funds. You're a horrible mayor. Mayors ain't about parties. You were supposed to have a committee for the parties and the events. And you're supposed to earmark a certain amount of money to it. Not just whatever we want to spend on the parties. We'll worry about people's salaries and livelihoods if there's money left for it. If not, they'll be laid off, and then I'm going to blame other people for the reason they got laid off. What? And it's people buying it. It's people who still working there buying it, blaming the trustees. I'm like, wow. You heard that she bought the supervisor's seat. I don't know why they voted for Tiffany and Dalton. The way she speaks is embarrassing. I agree with that too. Okay, moving on. New poll. Let me close out this poll question. Have you been watching the Tiffany Henyard story? 70% of you have. Now, have you also been watching the board meetings? I didn't watch last night. I saw a couple brief clips, but I didn't watch the whole thing yet. I do plan on watching. But the next poll question is, have you been watching the board meetings? So in the not the board meeting last night, but the one I think it was last week, there was some drama because what they're trying to do in Thornton Township is now they've woken up and they are they have woken up. They know what's happening in Dalton. It's the undeniable. After Mayor Lori Lightfoot, she's no longer the former mayor of Chicago, she did her preliminary report where they've been investigating Tiffany's spending in the village of Dalton. And so they did that 3 weeks or so ago, where she laid out the overspending. And that's where we found out that there was $40,000 spent on Amazon purchases in one day in Dalton. And then a whole bunch of others, like I just told y'all, the whole almost $6 million of spending, reckless spending that she's done that has now put the village in a $3 million deficit, which now requires them to cut services and lay people off and all of that. So it was all exposed then. Now, her other job as the Thornton Township supervisor, they now waking up to say, well, hey, if you done did all that over there, what have you been doing over here that we didn't know about? So they don't 100% know yet the full scope of the damage she's done in Thornton, nor do they know the full scope of damage that she's done in Dalton. We know a good chunk of it, but what Lori Lightfoot reported was not the entire story yet. It's a good chunk of it. Thornton don't know yet. However, they know if she over there being a thiefany, she over there being a thuglet, she over there being a scammer, we know she over here doing it too. So what they wanted to do, what they are doing, is they're reining in this credit card abuse. And so they wanted to, Tiffany set it up where every department had credit cards. Prior to her, for 29 years, they only had one credit card that they all used for the township. She came in like, no, you get a card, you get a card, you get a card, you get a card. And then she like, I'm gonna need you to spend $44,000 on Amazon. Put this on that card. I'm gonna need you to buy that SUV. Put this on that car. we about to fly out first class, put this on that card. But it's cards that aren't in her name. She never had none of the cards, but she would be instructing people on what to spend on the cards. She's slick. She's a slick one, or tries to be. So then, right, and no, that's a lot of wigs. And she like, I got 12 wigs on this account right here. Buy them with their card. So what they decided to do is only have 2 credit cards. They like, we're gonna get one to you. You gonna get one. So you the one doing this reckless spending, so we can track what you're doing. We can track the expenses that you are occurring. And then one for another, like the village finance head person. That way they are able to then track her. Here's what happens when they vote on this in that last meeting. She is living. She like, I don't want no card. Y'all trying to force me to have a card. I don't need no card. I don't spend no money. When she said that, she don't spend no money. They like, what is wrong? The whole crowd erupts. We're going to watch that. Is this it? Oh, wait, hold on. I forgot to pull these in now. I don't even know. Did I label it? Did I label it? Bear with me. Hold on, I'll do it this way. Where is it? That's why I like to produce my shows. Is this it? Here it is. I never labeled it. Of course I did.
006 to establish a retail credit card net 30 policy for Thornton Township, Cook County, Illinois. Is that
So just so you know, because we were, of course, not watching the whole, I don't know, it was what, two-hour board meeting or whatever it was. No, this was this the one that started like an hour and a half late? So that's another thing. Tiffany Henyard is very disrespectful, not only to her colleagues and the trustees and people who work for her, but the village as a whole, the public. She's extremely disrespectful, not only in the way that she talks, but the way that she treats them. She'll say one thing out of her mouth. She gets on those live streams, the Facebook lives and stuff, and she's like, "It's your favorite Mayor Tiffany Henyard. Hey, I'm in the house. Y'all gonna come out and support me. I love y'all. Oh, y'all the best." But then when it comes time to take care of business and show up at a village hall meeting, this chick is an hour and a half plus late and then walk in and don't even apologize or explain herself. Always late now, because I've been watching the live streams. So you sit around, you're waiting for them to start, and nobody knows when the hell she gonna show up. Few weeks ago, I was watching one of them. That's why I would never go physically. I mean, I could easily go. It ain't that far from me. I could easily go to them, but I can't deal with the BS where she gonna be showing up whenever the hell she feel like it. One of the meetings, the village Dalton meetings, they it started like 2 hours late. She then finally shows up. So they start trying to get the meeting going. The trustees do. They had a quorum. They start getting the meeting going. She shows up and she disrupts it all, stops it, and then tells the audience, audience full of people, seniors, Dalton people. She tells them, I'm gonna need to call some order. Are those what they call them? Are those metal detectors on back there, officers? Yeah, okay. So for the safety of everybody, this Tiffany. For the safety of everybody, I'm gonna need y'all to get up and go back through those metal detectors, because the metal detectors were not turned on when the people showed up. And then they waited for a long time. The meeting finally, they just decided to start it. She come late And then she tells them there will be no meeting if they don't get up. You ain't got no choice but to get up. There won't be no meeting if you don't get up and walk through there. So you gonna line up row by row, and y'all just go through the metal detectors. I was like, she is bat-ish crazy. She then is like, it's for the safety of everybody, because y'all know what happened before when one of the trustees was attacked. So she was talking about Jeremiah Brown charging at Andrew Holmes. That's why you can't be doing stuff like that, because you give people excuses to then create more chaos behind it. But anyway, so she makes them get up, seniors and all. The crazy part is, as you watch the video, you could tell the police were just going through the motions, the officers, because they just walking through the audience is just walking through the metal detectors, and it's going off on everybody. They ain't checking nothing. They ain't stopping nobody. And I'm like, if you really were concerned about safety, that would have been done before anyone entered. Also, if someone really wanted to get you, Tiffany, if they really wanted to get you, do you understand that their weapon still would have, they could have left their weapon at their seat? Idiot. I'm like, if somebody did have something, they would have already left. I mean, if I got something and I was planning on doing something, and you're like, well, now you got to go back through the metal detector, I'm going to just leave it at my seat, in my bag or whatever, because of course you ain't going to just be carrying it loosely. This woman crazy. Anyway, so this here is the meeting from last week. This is the part of the meeting. Now, again, here's another thing. So she shows up late to this one, but she was trying to make them have the meeting upstairs in the smaller boardroom, community room, which couldn't even hold half of that audience that's down here in this space. So because she was late, they sent all the people to the basement area where there's enough for the entire community. Let's say for downstairs, for instance, it probably holds, I'm guesstimating, but let's say 100 people. Upstairs, they might get 30 or 40 in there. She then, still knowing that all the community members are downstairs, still tries to hold the meeting upstairs because she didn't want everybody to be able to attend. She wanted this area down here to be for overflow, so they can't be there in person. The week prior, or the meeting prior to that, she had people standing in the hallways because they all couldn't fit in that small room. And then they had to just stand in that hallway for hours. And then if they had public comments, they would have to submit their name. And then somebody would yell out the door, Miss Green, Miss Annie Green, it's your turn. And then Miss Annie Green come to the podium, say her word. But then she got to leave right back out because ain't no space. When they had all the space downstairs. So this particular meeting, they like, we not doing that no more, so we don't have it downstairs. She refuses to come downstairs. The trustees stayed downstairs, so they were at a standoff. If you don't come your ass downstairs, we ain't getting started. And she like, if you don't come upstairs, we not getting started. Eventually, she comes down and the meeting gets started. She don't make no apologies. Now, this standoff, and it's been so long ago, so don't quote me on the times, but it was 30, 40 minutes, something like that, 20, 30-ish minutes, somewhere up in there, on top of it being a late start. Craziness. So at this part of the meeting, they're having a discussion about creating new policies around the credit card usage. And this is Thornton, this is not Dalton. This is Thornton Township. This is where she's a supervisor. So they're trying to rein it in because they don't know how much damage she's done to them yet. And they like, we done heard what you over there doing, $40,000 in one day on Amazon purchases over there in Dalton. We ain't finna keep allowing whatever's happening over here that we don't know yet, because she hides everything. She's not transparent, and they gotta sue her to get documents. Craziness. So so this is the part of the meeting where they're putting a new policy in place, where they're getting rid of all of these credit cards for everybody. You get a credit card, you get a credit card. And they're bringing it down to just 2 credit cards, 2 Amexes, one that Tiffany will have and one that the chief of finance or whatever will have. And this is how Tiffany responds, because she realizes that what they're doing is trying to hold her accountable for for the spending that she's been having other people do.
4-006 to establish a retail credit card net 30 policy for Thornton Township, Cook County, Illinois. Is there a motion? Is there a second? All right, there's been a motion and second. Any discussion? Why y'all ain't never got nothing to say and y'all don't want to make the ordinances? Y'all want to educate the people on what y'all want to do, what y'all trying to do. Anything?
Yes.
All right, go ahead.
She's also notorious for this during the meetings. She tries to make the trustees look incompetent, and she'll be calling them out in ways like she's doing now. Like, see, this is the problem. Y'all don't know what y'all doing. See, y'all trying to do this, but see, you ain't looking to this yet. Meanwhile, behind the scenes, she's sabotaging them. I don't know why they don't speak up a little bit more, because she couldn't be doing that to me constantly. I understand y'all want to have a bunch of, chaos, but she couldn't keep gaslighting me every week in front of the audience. But that's what she does.
Yeah, this one, I can read the sentence again, but just overall, we're just, look, we need to put some safeguards in place to regulate what's spent on the credit cards. That's... Now, it was discussed last time that there may need some back and forth. We're open to that. It's imperative that we get this passed. If you want to come forward with some amendments or to make some changes, we can do that. But it's imperative we get this passed tonight.
So for the record, you guys know that I'm totally against how you guys structure this. I said that that's a prior meeting. That's why I did not pass. You guys did call a vote and it died because you guys are just writing things and didn't ask anybody their opinion. As it relates to laws, us as the board are supposed to discuss it, come up with a plan, and execute it. You guys have not included the body in its entirety, nor did you include the staff. They are the ones that do the spending. They are the ones that do the operation as relates to the day-to-day. You guys put things in there like $1,000. Each of their departments spends more than $1,000 on lunches for the seniors, on youth and family programs. We told y'all this at the last meeting, and we're telling you this again. I am not for how you guys drew this ordinance up. And I'm not for having a credit card. You guys wrote my name in there. Do not add my name in something that I do not agree with. So for those that don't know and ain't read this, they added my name to get a card. I do not want a credit card. I do not deal with money. I don't deal with anything. So please do not add my...
You see how she be gaslighting so much so the entire audience when she like, I don't be spending no money, and they like, what? Liar. And she's like, calm down. She is, in my opinion, and I'm entitled to my opinion, a sociopath, allegedly. Like, that behavior is sociopathic. She lives in a world where, like, none of what's really actually happened. She's created her own false reality and lives in it no matter what's happening around her. At the stake and risk of harming anyone around her, she has no cares at all. It's clear at this point.
My name is something that I did not even agree to, trustees. So you should amend that. I don't even know why y'all made an amendment and added me in this. So please remove supervisor from this ordinance. And I think you guys should replace it, as we told you before, with a manager. I told y'all that because the managers are the ones that buy for their departments. So I don't work here every day as relates to in no one's department. So I wouldn't know if they needed some food for a senior. All they would do is go buy what they need for their department. Once again, that's the purpose of a budget. If you have a budget, you telling them what they can spend within their department. And all of them produce receipts. Every single department does. People that didn't produce receipts no longer work for the township. So let's be crystal clear about that. But please remove my name from this because I'm not for this. Whoever did this amendment, and I was told that Trustee Kerman made this amendment, and I'm not for it. So remove supervisor from here. I see y'all put the finance director on here, and then you put supervisor with the finance director. So let's strike that down. Ain't no passes with my name, so no to that. And then I see that you.
And she confident, like, you ain't gonna do this, and I don't want no credit card in my name, because they messing up her game. They messing up her whole strategy of spend the money and have my hand. I ain't doing it. I don't know where all them wig purchases came from. I don't know how they paying for a photographer for me. I didn't ask them to pay. I didn't know who was paying for that photographer. They just told me to show up and take pictures. Like that was her plan. She can't do that no more because she's gonna have her own card. That she say she ain't gonna touch. Yeah, if you send it to me, I ain't gonna grab it. I love it. The payback part of it.
You guys strike $1,000 and put $10,000 only in the case of emergencies. Again, Tony department, which is all of them basically, he spent more than that off of if a truck or a bus breakdown. So do IT, which Robert Hunt explained that to you. Our computers, our service, things go down. Cost $5,000 for just one computer. So I'm saying that you guys, because you so much attacking supervisors, that y'all not thinking about the overall picture. And I told y'all should talk to the staff before making a law that don't make sense for the staff on a day-to-day operation.
See, again, this is where she's trying to make the trustees seem incompetent. Like, see, y'all didn't talk to the staff to see this ain't gonna work. You trying to bind how they spending money, and then they not gonna be able to provide the services. See, you don't know how to operate this. This is the problem. Meanwhile, it's an emergency. The village, I'm sorry, the township is in danger. When there's an emergency, somebody choking, the house is on fire, you ain't got time to be having questioning people and all of that. You got to get that water hose and start spraying that fire. And that's what they're doing. They like, we'll handle the question and answer period after. She having a fit. She like, no, let the house burn down.
You have to understand how they operate daily and their needs. Not just making laws and then now it does not work. Now how you accept. You made a rule, a law that they can't abide by because their operation needs more than what you wrote as a law. So talk to the staff. I think you should go back to the drawing board or adjust what being right here, right now, or go back to the drawing board. One of the two you should do. But do not, please remove me from this. I'm not for that ordinance. So y'all want to make a amendment?
Motion to approve ordinance 24-006 as.
Okay, well, I'll motion to amend that take supervisor off, like I just said. That's what I'm talking about. Y'all want y'all way. I'm adding in this law because I don't want a credit card. So I'm making a motion.
You see her? It's projecting. See, here's the problem. Y'all want it y'all way. No, the problem is you want everything your way and you're for yourself and not for the people. That's the problem. But she tries to act like it's them. The trustees are being selfish. They're not thinking about the people by trying to make me accountable for how the money's spent. She is ridiculous.
That we amend this ordinance as relates to a supervisor having anything to do with credit card. Is there a second for my motion?
I have something to say based on.
Okay, hold on. Let me amend this first.
No, it's discussion for the first motion.
Well, I'm trumping the motion first, so I can trump the motion. Do I have a second? Okay, it's a motion and a second to trump their motion.
Another thing she does, steamroll them. She's just like, I know procedure, and that's why she has that attorney next to her as well, so that she could try to get permission from him on how reckless she can get legally. Even though she still does a ton of stuff illegally. But she steamrolls them. Not because she's right, because she's learned how to work around some of the rules.
It's myself and Darlene. I got me all the way. So now what you got to say? Now discussion. Remove supervisor. Now go ahead.
Okay, so they did request that there be an additional card because the original ordinance did only have the finance director, Robert Hunt, listed. And according to my knowledge, I know the previous administration for 29 years only had one credit card, and they were able to successfully handle township business with that one credit card. And I know that there are a lot of things going on, a lot of spending, a lot of questions that sometimes don't get answered. But one thing I will say is I know the supervisor is bonded, so anything she does is protected under that bond. So I think that it is her responsibility to make sure she knows what's going on with the money. It's her responsibility to have a credit card again. the previous administration had one credit card for 29 years, and I think that, moving forward, we have to figure out some things. And again, like Trustee Gonzalez said, we're open to receiving any amendments via email, and we'll look at it and discuss it as a board and do what's best for township as a whole moving forward.
All right, so.
And I think, and I could be wrong, but what I was gathering with them mentioning, not only are they trying to hold her accountable with her having her own card for whatever her spending is, it would be connected to her directly and not through other people, but also with them saying she's bonded, I'm assuming what that means is any reckless spending that is caught on her part, if she's bonded and insured, that the township in this case would end up being able to get that, recoup that money. So they're also looking at, like, how do we ensure, because we can't control this chaos of her, but how can we mitigate the damages that even if she continues, which she will, because that's what sociopaths and narcissists do, she's going to continue until literally they locking her up, until they're locking her up. She's going to continue it. So they're like, how do we mitigate it? If we can basically ensure her actions, that no matter what she does maliciously, it's insured, then, they're looking at it like that's how we can mitigate some of our damages, which makes sense. They're trying to be smart now. I mean, more power to them now.
The township did have one credit card for 29 years. And y'all had a lot of theft going on here in the township. So let's be crystal clear about that. So y'all get all that.
And now she's talking about the alleged thievery that was happening with the previous administration. However, what we do know was that it wasn't to the level that it became national news. Most of these, I'm not going to say all, but most of these municipalities got some shady stuff going on.
Number two, if y'all pay attention to how anybody operation runs, every department head has a card because they are responsible for transparency. If you give one card to one person, you don't know who got it, who spent on it, what receipt at. You don't want one card. Right now, we can go and look up, hey, Carmen was in Walmart today and she bought a TV. You can literally point out where somebody's at and who swiped that card, because that name goes to that person's card. That's why you want every single department to have their own card, so that
is not how it has to happen. I worked for my last corporate gig. We had a credit card and we shared the credit card. And what we had to do was report our spending. And it was audited every month. We would get emails like, hey, who just charged Amazon? Who charged this vendor, this printing company? Whose charges this? And that was the way that they kept such tight accounting on it. That was how they could determine who had used the credit card. It wasn't that we all had our own separate credit cards just because we ran departments. Because for one, it'd be a ton of credit cards. It's not only one way to do it.
Now they're accountable for their spending. We're not doing one credit card. There's no accountability.
But again, why isn't it okay? She should be auditing anyway, even as the township supervisor. She should know what's happening.
For one credit card, and that's not how operations work. And as it relates to the finance director, we said this at the last meeting. Why would we give the finance director a card? That is not his job to run to the store and buy stuff for anybody. That is the department head's job. As it relates, that's how y'all don't know. As it relates to finances, that boy has a whole degree. He's supposed to basically go and check and make sure that the finances are in order.
Everybody in the audience tripping. Boy, that boy got a whole degree. That boy talking about a grown man. What's wrong with you? She disrespectful. Oh, she disrespectful.
That's it. That's how he's checked. And he don't supposed to go to the store and buy stuff. That's what the department head is supposed to do for that department. So everybody loses sight of the why for credit cards, the convenience for the credit card for a department. It has nothing to do with the finance director having it. It has nothing to do with nobody else meaning besides the department heads who have it to basically account for their spending for their department. If you go check any of our Authority Township, you will see anybody have the card, what they spent it on, it got their name back, and they should have receipts for anything that they have spent. So I just want to point that out. So all this talk about we just gonna make this a law. No, we not. So we gonna remove supervisor. You can replace that with a manager. I don't care who you pick really for the manager. It could have been Tony Ball out here.
You could pick, now this is the supervisor who is the CEO over the township, basically. I don't care. You can pick anybody. I can be Tony for all I care. How's it? You are the CEO. You should be caring who is responsible for the finances of the township. She's like, look, keep my name out of it for the FBI. That's all I care about. I don't give a hell what y'all do. Keep my name out of it. I don't want the FBI adding this to my list of charges. This is going to be a list of charges. Her and Donald Trump probably running neck and neck. 34 counts.
Anybody, but pick one person other than supervisor for the department head. And we should have had this discussion before. I'm tired of them getting up here saying, send y'all an email. I'm not sending you no emails. I told you this at the last meeting, and I'm verbally telling y'all again, don't add me in nothing, because I got nothing to do with the data that they as relates to their departments. They are responsible for their departments. They know what they need for their departments. My advice, again, is to go speak to them and ask them their opinion of what is needed for spending for each department before you guys put a law together of something you know nothing about, meaning they need more than what you wrote in here. IT alone. That alone needs more than what you wrote. But you guys would know that. Even when they was getting all this spyware and all these issues, they needed a lot more than what you wrote. And y'all know that because they told y'all about it. So my advice again is to amend this ordinance and make sure it makes sense for the needs of the township and not what the board of trustees want it to say. You have to go with the needs, and that's the department heads. So there's a motion and second on the floor to remove supervisor from this ordinance, replace it with a manager, not me, and we'll go from there.
All right. Trustee Gonzalez?
No.
Trustee Jones? Trustee Carlisle? Trustee Gray Everett? Supervisor Henyard? Motion failed.
All right, to let y'all know how this is gonna work. I'm not taking no credit card. I don't care what y'all vote for in here. I never seen no mess like this ever in my life. Somebody sitting here trying to make somebody take a card. That's fixing. That's fixing in itself. So just so y'all clear,
Again, the guy's like, now she pissed. She pissed because her motion to make it where she wouldn't have to have the credit card failed. And they like, no, we going full steam ahead. This sickening. You're going to make somebody have a card they don't want to have. This horrible. This is just ridiculous. But it's not ridiculous that you have put the village of Dalton and the Thornton Township on the map, not for nothing good, but only because of all the corruption, the extremely high level of corruption, the massive level of corruption that you have caused, and deficits and people losing their job. But them making you have a credit card so you're accountable for your spending is ridiculous. It's atrocious. Girl. Anyway, we're done with her with that.
Declined to.
Oh, wrong one. Oh, Jesus. It's amazing how some people are. Poll question I'm closing out. Have you been watching the town meetings? 59% of you have. Yeah, we might need to start doing some watch parties with it because I've been watching. I just be watching it by myself. Fascinated, appalled, all by my lonesome. Like, oh my God, this woman, is she serious? What is wrong with her? Oh my God. And how they let her get so far with this? Oh. Okay, so the last one is on last night, and then I'm gonna read y'all comments and we're gonna get out of here. On last night, there was another this was a township meeting that Tiffany scheduled because she was trying to get more money for parties, for events. Where I'm lost is if she was a legitimate mayor, if she was not, in fact, Tiffany Nino Brown Henyard, and her village and township were in peril financially. Wasn't a good leader, because this is how we do in our houses when we run into financial things, you know, hiccups, etc. The first thing we get rid of, well, the smart one, those of us who can, you know, are better with money. First thing you get rid of is your entertainment. Instead, Tiffany Henyard, Nino Brown Henyard, wants to ignore the fact that these places, municipalities, are in peril, financial peril. And it's like, but what about that event we got a what's coming up next? We got a Halloween party coming up. I need $20,000 for the Halloween party. We need to have a meeting so I can have the Halloween party for the seniors. It's like, we ain't got no time to be worried about that. We ain't gonna be able to have Halloween parties for the next 20 years based on the spending you've done. So she tries to have a meeting. The trustees are standing on business. The trustees, I hate it took y'all so long. And I understand y'all hands were tied in some ways too, but congratulations now. We can't, you know, no sense crying over spilt milk. But they stand on business and they didn't show up. So, this one ain't ready either. Hold on, I got to pull it in. I could have been doing that while I was talking. Last night's meeting, they like, girl, if you don't quit wasting our time sitting here gaslighting, nobody got time for this. We're gonna play with our...
I'm Micah Matera.
And I'm Ray Quarterpass.
We'd rather stay at home and color in our kids' coloring books than to sit there for your shenanigans and waste our time, have us waiting 3 hours to get a meeting started. So they attempt to have she shows up to the meeting. They don't. And she took the opportunity to get on her gaslighting soapbox. And here's just a bit of it.
Good evening. I'm Micah Matera.
And I'm Ray Quarterpassi.
New tonight, a scheduled meeting tonight in Thornton Township canceled before it had been able to get off the ground.
WGN's Jenna Barnes is live in South Holland with details on what happened. Jenna.
Yep, Ray and Mike, Thornton Township Supervisor Tiffany Henyard wanted the Board of Trustees to approve some events that she wants the township to pay for, but none of the trustees showed up for this special meeting tonight. That left the meeting canceled and Henyard with the floor. With too many empty chairs, the special Board of Trustees meeting called by Thornton Township Supervisor Tiffany Henyard ended before it began. But Henyard saw an opportunity.
So this is me making my statement. So if you don't want to hear it, here's the door.
To speak uninterrupted to the small gathering in the room.
If you don't want to hear it, here's the door. Who talks to the public like that? What government official talks to the... If y'all want to hear it, there's the door. What? Like they her kids.
So that residents would know what's going on in the township.
Residents already know you stealing from them.
Some chose to leave. Those who stayed heard the supervisor speak for half an hour.
That's what all the hate is all about. It's all about your super mayor became too powerful too quick. So rare, so unique, and that's what everybody got a problem with. It's all about control.
Others would say the scrutiny is because of questions about how Henyard spends money in the township and the village of Dalton, where she's also mayor. This week, WGN Investigates revealed the travel expenses Henyard and her team tried to hide. We sued for access to credit card records and found $67,000 billed to township taxpayers for 5 months of travel grew to more than $100,000 when you add what was charged to Dalton residents. The only explanation given, Henyard and her entourage attended conferences. And Henyard's former assistant, now township trustee Carmen Carlisle, is accusing Henyard of manipulating residents. She says in a statement, "My decision to come forward as a whistleblower reflects my commitment to transparency, fairness, and accountability within the township. I encourage other victims to come forward and speak out. We cannot allow this behavior to continue unchallenged. It's time for us to demand better for our township and stand together against those who misuse their power."
I'm looking at Carmen a little side-eye though, y'all. I'll talk about it in a minute. Let me let this go.
The spending, I don't know anything about that. You know, you have to spend money to, have events.
That's the misguided residents who don't understand that you can't spend money that ain't there. And if you overspend excessively and fraudulently, you can't have events. That's how and she lives there and is detached. Many of us, the majority of us watching this, don't live there, and we know they in trouble. Why she don't know? Why she don't know? And then her taxes, real estate taxes or property taxes are gonna go up. Not mine. I don't live there. Not ours. We good. Hers is the ones that's gonna go up 30, 40, 50%. And she like, but you got to spend money on events? No, sweetie. Do you want an event or do you want an extra $2,000, $4,000 to pay in your property taxes? The hell? Oh.
Last week's meeting, the trustees voted to regulate the budgets for the events that Henyard throws. She and her staff accused them of leaving children and seniors in a lurch.
We went to pick up the cake to offer to our seniors, and they told us, your card doesn't work.
And I stand in the fight because I want the boys.
We went to pick up a cake. We couldn't get a cake for our residents. This is ridiculous. This is a sin before God. We already $3 million in the hole. Why we can't buy a $100 cake? What? All the people who are on her side are people who want parties and events and cake. Oh, poor Tink Tings. Boy, if you don't go out there and buy your own cake. What? You letting her wreck a whole township for cake and ice cream? And Kiki Wyatt? Oh, this is how y'all got in trouble. This is why. For the people in your community who are like that, that's how y'all got like this. It just answered all the questions. Any of y'all who was just asking earlier in the chat, how this happened? Why they elect her? Because they wanted ice cream and cake and Kiki Wyatt at the expense of the whole township and village. Like they couldn't buy that themselves. Jesus.
Girls of the next generation to see what it looks like to come out of controversy and to come out of all the hate.
Oh, I'm sorry, and free grass cutting, because that was a whole thing a month or so ago. They've been really arguing a lot over this. She has grass cutting for seniors and I think disabled people. And I get it. It's a great service if you can afford to have it as a municipality. But if you can't, we got to work something else out amongst the neighbors on those blocks. I'd rather pay for pay for my own lawn care than to be paying an extra few $1,000s a year in property taxes for it. Because you're still paying for it if you didn't understand this, what we're saying. I'd rather pay the $100 a month than $10,000 a year when my taxes go up because she's doing all this overspending because she claiming she cutting our grass. Get out. Oh my God, y'all. Come on now. Wake up.
Unscathed. At the end of the day, God gives the test to his strongest soldiers.
Woo! An evil person love to throw God in there because a lot of y'all get confused with that. A lot of y'all don't understand that the devil knows the Bible too. A lot of y'all don't understand that the devil will use God's name in vain. Y'all get all tripped up. Well, they have said God. They say they pray. They said they're a soldier for the Lord. But what do their actions say? What comes out of their mouth? Where's their fruit? And not the fruit they serving at the events next to the cake and ice cream, but the fruit of their labor, the fruit of their existence, the love in their heart. Not the love they talk about they got, but the love you see in the community because of the fact that people kept their jobs because they managed money properly. When people get fired, like corrupt chiefs, police officers, They don't try to bring them back in to harm people. They don't use those officers and police chiefs to bully people like thugs and goons. That's how you know God is involved. When you see quite the opposite of that, guess who it is? The devil in a white robe. The devil will put on a white robe. That don't mean he godly. Oh, y'all, come on now. Some of the stuff I shouldn't have to tell y'all. Anyway, let's do. But yo, that Carmen. So Carmen, I'm going with where's she at? Let me pull her up for a second. Carmen now want to
for us to demand.
Now, and Carmen, you know, I haven't been watching this since the inception. I've been catching bits and pieces, but now I've been watching more regularly. And what I learned about Carmen, and some of y'all let me know, this is my assumption based on what the limited knowledge that I had. Carmen seemed like she was with the ish. And then at some point it didn't benefit her, or Tiffany did something to slight her, is what it appears to be. And then she's speaking up. And now she one of the good people. Now she one of the people trying to fight for good. I'm a little lost at something. They fell out. I don't know why they fell out, but they fell out. But you was okay with it for years, because she just turned on her recently, from what I could tell. She was around when Tiffany was creating a fraudulent cancer foundation, which Tiffany Henyard now claims that she don't know nothing about. Tiffany Henyard claims that the Tiffany Cares Foundation, Cancer Foundation, she ain't got nothing to do with. She don't even know how it started. She don't know who in charge of it. How the hell is it in your name? Carmen says in a couple meetings ago, I heard her say, now you lying and da and this and that. I know you know about the Cancer Foundation that you claim now you don't know nothing about, because I was there during the inception of it. I was at the table with you when it was being put together. So what was your part in it, Carmen? And when it first came out that it was a scam, why was you still rolling with her, Carmen? Something ain't right. Now do your job and rat on her, turn on her like Keith did. Like Keith Freeman did. Turn on her, flip on her for sure. Hope keep the FBI off you. I'm okay with that. But what we ain't gonna do is act like you innocent. That we ain't finna do that. Based on the limited knowledge I got, I was like, oh, Carmen ain't innocent. Carmen was in the ish. Carmen realized at a certain point, unlike some of these other people, it's time to jump off that ship, this sinking ship, that Titanic, before I end up at the bottom of the ocean with her with some prison sentences. But don't sit here and act like you innocent now. That we ain't finna do. Allegedly. Because I don't really know. Common sense and discernment telling me this, but I don't really know. That's all I'm saying. That's all I had on it. Yeah. So just besides Carmen and, these people who are just still there's people who still voting for her, who still behind her, who still would get up at the podium doing the public comments and be like, y'all need to stop. Y'all just hating on her. There's a black woman. Y'all trying to tear her down. It's like, what? It was some seniors of last meeting. Too old, and I get it. Seniors, they don't be up on this social media stuff, so they missing stuff here and there. All they know is what she telling them and maybe the gossip on the street. And she surely is good to us. We had a good time at the Mother's Day event. Them mothers around there, they were loving everything, and it was some good music there. And Tiffany should care about us, and y'all just need to get along. I hate seeing this. It's like, what? Sweetie, if you don't learn how to, Grandma, let me teach you how to get on Facebook so you can see what's really happening. Better yet, YouTube. Let me show you how to log on, because you're missing a lot. You're missing a hell of a lot. So, anyway, let me read some comments and then we're going to get on out of here. Right. She looks you straight in the face and lies. Absolutely. I need to see her campaign rallies because ain't no way she's the best option. Yeah, I don't know. Who was she running against? Because I haven't looked that far back. Who was she running against? Now, she does say that she won by an like 80-something percentage voting rate, that she got the overwhelming majority of the votes. She was a trustee for a couple years. I'm a little lost that nobody could see this coming. Nobody could see this coming. 80-some%. But one of the things she was running on, and one of the things, and this is what happens as humans. I've been guilty of it myself. We get so fascinated with the exterior that we don't look at the depth, the core of the person, the integrity of the person. You like, so what she ran on is, I'm the first Black female. If y'all elect me, I'm gonna be the first Black mayor, female mayor of Dalton, Illinois. Like, that's what she ran on. And then I saw people like, yeah, we need fresh ideas. And she young. And she like, I am. That's how she got in there at 80-some%. Nobody was paying attention to that. She's cool. Nobody was paying attention to that. Golden Child says, been following this story on multiple pages. She's wild with her one day of $40,000 purchase. Right, the Amazon purchases. Amazon. That's why I was like, do Amazon sell cars now? I'm like, how you spend $40,000 on Amazon in one day? In one day. And yeah, I spent about that now. It ain't far though. But in one day, she must have bought a Tesla or something. What did she buy? A lot of money has been backing this lady. Yeah, and that was the other rumors that I've been hearing, is that in some way she was tied to the people in the state government, like higher officials, and somehow they helped her get in too. I don't know any details. Now she's a thuglet. She knew better. There's city guidelines for reimbursement for costs. She knew better. These costs are unreasonable. Right. She was already a trustee. She can't plead that level of ignorance, not that level. Even somebody in corporate America understands, spending. You make a great point. These excessive charges were clearly eating up any travel. But yeah, thank you so much, Power Dynamic for Life friend. She gives Hood Rat. Hood Rat's a bad name, right? For 8 years, Tiffany had the same attitude as a trustee. Some trustees even ran on her campaign. They knew what tomfoolery they were getting into. Only part, they are not getting a piece of the pie. That makes sense. Now I get it. Is this thing on? Is Carmen one of those people? Is that my discernment right there kicking in, aligning with what you know to be factual? Was Carmen one of those people? Knew that there was tomfoolery behind? I'm still lost how she was elected mayor in Dalton, and they like, I know a good idea. She's already busy running a village. Let's also have her run the township with multiple villages. Something ain't right about that. Something wasn't right about that. Think she has a lot of people scared of her goons. Yes, there's a lot of stories. I actually, because I had did a deep dive on Lacey, Chief Lacey. Woo, Jesus. Now I heard little bubblings and stuff, but when I started seeing the receipts, I was like, oh my God, it's thugs, straight up thugs. And that's how part of the tactics is love bombing the people who don't know no better, the seniors, the people who don't pay attention to the media, social media, the people who are, they want the event bingo games and the ice cream and cake and the Kiki Wyatt. Like, you got that. But then you got the people who, like a person like me and a lot of y'all, if we lived there, we would be terrorized by Chief Lacey and his goons. they would have been following our cars and giving us tickets and, you know, all kind of stuff to try to harass us, to make us shut up. Imagine me with this YouTube channel if I lived in Dalton. Oh, Lord, y'all be bailing me out. The feds are building a case, making sure they're crossing them T's and dotting those lines. Absolutely. The feds don't move quick like that. I've seen them work. Like I've seen God work in my life. I've seen the feds work. And like God, they never fail. I've never seen them fail. I've never seen them fail. So yes, that's exactly what's happening. And people who understand that or pay attention to that, they understand that. Don't mean she's innocent. These people who gonna vote for her again because she ain't in prison, she obviously ain't did nothing because she not in jail. You gotta spend money to have events. They thinking it's all good because she ain't got arrested yet. They don't understand that it's coming though. They don't understand that part. The lawyer kills me. Never seen him smile or nothing. He looks like a fool. I hope he gets charged also. He won't get charged. Hey, I mean, he's looking like that too because he know he in dealing with some BS. Who would have a good time sitting up there with that? I was about to ask about her college. Oh, I saw this comment about her college. Yes, she did go to Robert Morris University, or I think, ain't it called Robert Morris College, or did they change it to university? It used to be college back in the day. But yes, it is accredited. She has a bachelor's and graduated with high honors from Thornridge High School and earned a bachelor's of art degree in business administration, cum laude, from Robert Morris University. I guess it is university now. Did they change it? Because it used to be college. Robert Morris College? Yeah, it used to be Robert Morris College because I got relatives who went there. But anyway, I can see, you know, this is for those of us who have higher education. I mean, she even in high school, she allegedly did. Well, allegedly. Do we see this? Did we see transcripts, y'all? Because we got to think about who we talking about. Did we see transcripts, proof of these high honors and this summa cum laude? Did we see this? Is this documented or is this what she told us? Anyway, nevertheless, those of us who have had higher education and stuff, I've seen some illiterate people literally do very well in school and get great grades, not because they were getting so much tutoring, but because they had a great social game. Just like I watched Big Brother. Those are my Big Brother fans out there. I got to catch up on the 2-hour last night. I was 3 episodes behind, didn't even realize. So when I catch up, I'll be talking to y'all in the Telegram group. Probably leave a little video or two. Anyway, just like Big Brother, you got to have a good social game too. That's a part of the education system. So I've experienced watching people who ain't that smart, who don't really get good grades. Their assignments ain't that great. Their test scores ain't that great, but they got a good social game, and it closes that gap. Where the next thing you know, the deans, the professors and the deans and stuff, next thing you know, they boosting them up. They closing that gap. Next thing you know, they honor roll. You're like, how the hell they can't even read? They can't even form a sentence. How that happen? So I'm not impressed, is what I'm here to say. Also, I see here, all eyes on me says no transcripts and the school is, is Robert Morris closed? I didn't know that. I thought they were still downtown. Don't they still have a sign up at least? I feel like I still saw they sign last year sometime, but maybe Robert, hold on, y'all. Okay. I'm not at y'all. I'm on at how complicated it is to juggle these comments when I'm jumping between the live chat and my star comments, but I want to put on the screen what y'all saying. Here we go. Robert Morris University, Illinois, Robert Morris College. Okay. Was a private university with its main campus in Chicago. Yes. They changed from Robert to the university in 2009. Okay. Okay. Thank you, Donna. I'm like, I swear I was just downtown. Like, I've been downtown more recently than a year ago, but I was like, I remember the last time I was in that area, I still remember seeing their sign So I was like, and I know that wasn't that long ago. But you're saying here no transcripts. So we know this for a fact now because we're getting misinformation. All eyes on me. So I'm trying to make sure. Has Tiffany, Wiggly, what do y'all call her? I didn't put a couple of these names out. Y'all know how I love a good old name. Whitney Henyard. That's also how to put that. Has Whitney Henyard showed us official documentation of her transcripts showing that she graduated with these high honors in high school and in college? If she has not, I'm snatching it away. Get out of here. Nope. Not buying it. Not buying it. For one, she's not that articulate, for one. Don't mean she can't be, smart. Now she's slick, but she ain't giving me smart. She ain't giving me smart because she ended up in this situation. Because you can be slick, and if you're slick and smart, you could do a lot of what she did and still go by without a hitch. Don't those villages allow people to be mayors for 20 years plus? Like, there's no term limits, right? They don't have term limits. If she was smart, she would have been pinching for 20, 30 years. That's smart. Slick is, I'm finna get it all. Quick money. I don't know, y'all. She ain't that smart. Tiffany, if you submit transcripts, then I will change my my verdict. But as of right now, you're slick, not smart. I ain't buying it. Oh, hold on. Y'all saying, hold on. Let me get to I am interested in Robin. I know people who graduated from there and everything, so I'm curious. Robert Morris University, Illinois, ceased operations as an independent institution of higher education in the state of Illinois. Oh, so it is closed. So it is closed because it merged with, because it merged with Roosevelt University. Interesting. I just thought about something. Now, don't hold me to this, but I'm just speculating. We converse and we kitchen table talk. So don't hold me to this. But just think about, if I was a scammer, a thiefany, a wiglet, and I wanted to create a resume, and really all I was a hood rat who was a slick talker, a smooth talker. And I got on because to be a trustee, you don't need no degrees and stuff. What if to create my resume, I made up my credentials? And when you make up your credentials, because I've seen it done before, some people, now don't y'all be going out here doing it. Some people will add information about institutions, companies, ex-employers that no longer exist. Why? Because if you ask me to back it up, well, I graduated magna cum laude, but they don't exist no more. Right, George Santos, Power Dynamic. I didn't know Robert Morris was closed, so I never even questioned it. I never questioned if she attended. I did question it in my mind if she graduated. I got a lot of schools I attended. If I want to just get to spouting off schools, you'd be like, dang, Vale, you got 7 degrees? No, I've been to 7 colleges. There's a difference. There is a difference. I wish they did do it like that. You mysteriously graduated with high honors from a college or university that technically doesn't exist no more. Now, I don't know. They might have transferred their records into Roosevelt University, but it probably make it real complicated trying to get somebody's transcripts. Now, I happen to go to one college that no longer exists. I ain't did no slick issue with it, but I'm just letting y'all know. I need y'all to let me know. Tiffany, where's these we need the degree. We need the actual degree. Because if you graduated many years ago, you have the degree. If you graduated when they, now watch this. What year did she say she graduated? Y'all say it changed hands in 2009 or whatever. Was that 2000? What I saw? Oh no, it changed names in 2009. What year did they merge with Roosevelt University? Because I guarantee you, conveniently, she's gonna say she graduated a year or whatever time, a date before that. Might be she might have been in 8th grade. But no, I had already graduated from. I don't trust her. I know some of y'all still trust her. I don't trust her. I ain't never trusted because I ain't learned about it until I knew she was a scammer. Anyway, back to these star comments. We got 6 of them. I'm gonna let y'all go at an hour and 30 minutes. This ain't no long live. When I had a corporate card, we had to have receipts with every expenditure. Yes, and I forgot to mention that. That was how we accounted for it. We submitted our receipts for the spending. Every department didn't have a card, or every person didn't have a card. I'm from Washington, D.C. watching this, but how in the hell did she win? That's my question. Where are the folks who voted her in? Some of them still planning to vote her in. Some of them realized that they were bamboozled, hoodwinked, run amok, and they've woken up. And now they're trying to mitigate the damage. It's a combination. But there's still some who will still vote for her. They did, for those of you who don't know, they did try to get her out of office. They had a special election to get her out of office. And I think it was definitely the majority. It was 50-something odd percent that wanted her out or more. It got reversed and turned over by, I think, an appellate judge in Illinois who was like, no, y'all can't do that. She was elected. So had that judge allowed it to go through, I forgot what they call it, y'all. The recall election. Thank you. The recall election, had they allowed the recall election to go through, the judge, then we wouldn't be having this conversation. So you got to blame them. And again, maybe this is where people are talking about she has connections to, people of power in the state of Illinois. Maybe that's where it came into play with her maybe being able to influence the judge's decision. I would love to see and hear from that judge now that they see that it's undeniable that she's straight up a scammer. But who knows? Maybe they got to pay back, allegedly. Let me stop, because that's a judge. I don't know nothing. I don't know nothing. That's what no judge. Vil, we need you to sacrifice for us and attend at least one meeting. The hell? I ain't going over there for that. I'm going to safely drive through it like I normally would. No, hell no. For one, I don't want to sit there wasting my damn time. The chaos. I'm not a person that can deal with chaos, all that yelling, and people can't get up there and talk calmly and cursing and all that. No, thank you. Also, I like to get on here and talk my ish, and I don't need them following me to beyond their jurisdiction and taking my plate number to harass me every time I drive through there. No, thank you. And it's more comfortable actually watching it a lot because there's enough great people going out there. It's great just sitting here in my loungewear, multitasking, snacking, and watching the chaos ensue on YouTube at live, watching it live. And then when it's over, guess what I do? Turn it off and start watching something else. I got to get no car. I got to drive. I got to do nothing with traffic. Vil, please stay on top of this case. A watch party would be great. Okay, well, knowing that y'all are interested in that, y'all just keep me posted on the next one, because sometimes I didn't know there was a meeting last night. Sometimes I don't know ahead of time and I end up missing. So if y'all keep me abreast, we can definitely do a watch party. They'll go and get her autograph and sell them. It will be put on a wall of shame. Ain't nobody buying that ish. Nobody buying that ish. And she ain't gonna sign nothing but a donation for that fake charity. That'd be the only way I get her signature. Like, I have a check here. Could you sign it? It's for your cancer charity. It's money. I'm gonna sign it. I wouldn't give her a credit card. Instead, I would require her to sign off on purchase above X dollars, or sign off monthly itemized reports acknowledging expenditure. The problem is that's a good idea. You got to keep in mind what we're talking about, Nola. We're talking about a sociopath, a narcissist, and whatever. She doesn't follow procedures. They can't get her to do anything. So because they can't get her to follow, if they could get her to follow these sort of procedures you're talking about, WGN News, the clip I first played, wouldn't have had to sue her in order to get the documents showing that she's been wasting money in Dalton with the travel, etc. She don't abide by those rules. That would never work for her. I get what you're saying. It sounds like a great procedure. I've worked places and we've had those sort of procedures. It ain't gonna work for Tiffany, for Whitney Henyard. No, you gotta force her, give her a card and say, if you want to do some fraudulent spend, you're gonna do it on this. Otherwise, you're screwed. That's all you can do with a person like her. Because they also can't completely cut her off from being able to, have, manage expenses and stuff. At least at this point, they can't. Says the judge that was over her case just retired in January 2024. So it's probably something shady going on with that. Knew they were about to retire. All that ain't no telling. Probably got to pay out under the table. Yes, thank you for that reminder. Power Dynamics for Life, friend. I appreciate you. Please hit that like button if you haven't as of yet. We got about 136 currently viewing cross platforms, but we only got 73 likes. Please hit that like. It is free to you, but it is invaluable to me and the growth of this channel. I like these midday lives. Yes, I enjoy them too, honestly. Yeah, we're gonna work on. I gotta be more present. I attend all their meetings on YouTube. Right. That's why I attend too. And that's where I'm going to continue to attend. I did I did consider it at one point. But as I started to become more aware of the chaos and the goonery happening out there, I was like, why would I be bothered with that? I don't live there. I'm not invested in that way. I'm invested in the sense for curiosity, but also to share the story with y'all, but not enough to become a part of the story, which many people have. I don't want to become part of that story. Oh, there's a database where you can verify degrees. I mean, do you have to be an HR or have some kind of subscription or something? Because sometimes those that sort of information, you got to have special access or something. Exactly. She may up her credentials. And if you watch her Shark Tank audition, it jumped. Why it jumped? Okay. If you watch her Shark Tank audition, she said she graduated in 2 years while going to night school. Impossible. It's so ridiculous. It is so ridiculous. Oh, thank you so much, Becky Hofferman. New subscriber from Mississippi. Go buy a Tiff burger. Yeah, I guess I gotta revisit because it's thank you so much, friend. I appreciate you for that, and welcome to the fellowship, as we call it over here, the Veeple community. But yeah, it's I'm not going there because we got to get off. We've been on long enough. But Tiffany, if y'all didn't know, I'm thinking about. I saw it. I saw the video. Who is that? I think Hannibal did the video on it. I think it was Hannibal. But Tiffany went on Shark Tank she had a burger joint in Dalton. And I think it was called Good Burger. As in like the TV show. And she did a video. It's so ridiculous and it's so comical and it's generic. And she's talking about how great her burgers are and how much she needs however much money because she wants to expand the restaurant. She claimed that she was taking that at Robert Morris, because she said at the college I was going to, I took night classes and no restaurants were open. And all we had was the vending machines and people were stuck eating unhealthy food like burgers and fries and chips and candy and whatever. Then she said, so I started bringing food there and I started selling it out my truck, out my car. And it was soul food and it was mac and cheese and greens and corn and this and da. And the stuff she was talking about was unhealthy. But then she claimed, you know, she grew from that to burger. And I'm like, she wasn't selling soul food. She was selling burgers and fries. And they were supposed to be like these burgers with juice of some sort, some kind of filling injected into them. These special sauces. She went through demonstrating the burgers looked all flimsy and dry and tiny. And and she like, ooh, this good. And this is what we call our monster burger. And then she pounding it with a bunch of crap. And then the burger can't even stand up. Okay, we're going to watch it. We're going to watch it. I was like, how she thought she gonna do something with on Shark Tank with this? It shows how much of a scammer she is. But she doesn't even realize, like, it's not elevated scamming. Anyway, we'll watch that eventually. But anyway, with that, I thank all of you for viewing. Again, if you have not liked this video as of yet, please do so. Also, please share it. And welcome to our new members, subscribers, Becky Hofferman and anyone else to come or who has showed up. And oh yeah, we can talk about her forever. I heard she did a cooking show the news mentioned it, even I think in that clip that she did a cooking show. I haven't seen it, so now I gotta go watch it. Is it on like Facebook or something? I gotta go watch it. She's a lot of content. We need to be covering her more. So we'll just we'll be popping on with this stuff, and we'll do a watch party. Okay, it's on YouTube. Thank you. Is it under Dalton? Where is it, Donna? Thank you in advance. Like what channel? What should I look up? I'm not exactly sure what's required to get access to the database, but we had to verify educational degrees at one of my previous. Right. The access was already set up when I signed. Yes, A. Benson. That's what I'm saying. So I guarantee you they were paying for some service or subscription. Like that stuff, you know, I got certain services where I can look up backgrounds and stuff like that, but you have to usually have some kind of subscription. Donna, send it to me either in Patreon or Telegram if you can, because I'm about to go ahead and log off of this. But I appreciate you in advance. Yeah, with that, until next time, I'm going to come live tomorrow. It may be a midday, it may be an evening show, but I will be back tomorrow. I'm promising that. I'm going to make myself. So with that, until next time, y'all make sure to take care and be blessed. Peace.